Good morning. This is Byron Bradford. I'm going to talk today about taxes and the lack thereof, or 1%, 2%, 3%, whatever, however way they want to divide us regarding taxes, 28 percentile, whatever case may be. But anyway, do me a favor, man. Hit that subscribe button right there, and I will get right to the business again. Please hit that subscribe button. And I was just reading an article this morning. My spouse and I was talking about just different things. Of course, taxes pop up. And Elizabeth Warren had went, I think, Congress last week, and she was talking about taxes or who don't pay taxes, this, that, and the other. Well, okay, let me so something. I said, let me take a look deeper dive into this, and I'll give you three takeaways before I even get into it. But yeah, talking about Senator Elizabeth Warren holding a press conference, announced legislation that would tax the net worth of America's wealthiest individuals at the U.S. Capitol on March 1st, yeah, which was 2021 in Washington D.C. Okay, Elizabeth Warren released a new version of her wealth tax this week, despite Massachusetts Democrats messaging that the scheme would impose a small fee on the wealthiest Americans. Would hurt the poorest and more vulnerable working class Americans and fuel their ever increasing presence of Washington in our daily lives. Well, I think the middle class is slowly disappearing. And now we're seeing, since the pandemic, of course, the economy slowly bouncing back. And now you have the inflation. Inflation, of course, fuel, gas, just the things that's required for you to live. Even lumber is going up. So your dollar's not going to go far as it used to. It never will. It never has. The dollar you had last week will not be the same dollar next week. That's just how that's going to work. Just a couple of things I definitely want to bring out. The point here she talked about, let me see, the Liberal Institute of Taxation and Economic Policy estimates that the combined federal, state, and local taxes are still quite progressive. It found that in 2020, the top 1% paid 34% tax rate. The poorest 20% of Americans paid average of 20% cumulative tax rate. Um, with that being said, majority of our jobs in America are going to be service jobs. We went from the industrial to manufacturing to service jobs. Unfortunately, well, the reality of it is service jobs don't pay a lot of money. Got it. And I guarantee you, a person working a service job, they're not going to be a CPA. They're not going to have access to a CPA. They're probably going to try to do it themselves or go to H&R Block, which you look at the people that are in that 1%, I guarantee you they got a CPA firm. They don't have just one person. They got a whole firm, and they're probably helping dictate who they're probably dictating what laws are going to change regarding taxes. So let's quit playing with ourselves and realize we're never going to get ahead playing that tax game. But again, I was in the service for 30 years or 29 years. Actually, 29 years, 6 months. Yeah, I want my 6 months. But the bottom line is, the service is comprised of a lot of enlisted personnel. Officers, there's few of them, but enlisted is a lot of, and they're not. Let's say E1 through E6, E5, whatever. Let's say E1 through E4. That's probably 80% of your branch. But they're not getting CPAs, but they're getting income. They're paying 28% taxes. A lot of them they're not. Their soldiers now smarter than what they used to be in the days. I will say that. So to their credit. Now, some of them, they don't know any better. They come from backgrounds where finances are not talked about, just like sex. They don't talk about finances. They just go out there and they become consumers. The world needs consumers. As you can see, when we don't consume, things don't get made, things don't happen. The bottom line is uh, the poor people are paying the taxes. They're paying a lot of taxes because that's the bulk of that's the service jobs, the military, lower enlisted. Those guys are paying taxes. Now, once you get to a certain, if you grew up around money and CPAs and accountants and understood the benefit of them, I just in my neighborhood, you know what they're there for. They're here to help you say keep as much of your money as possible. That's why people start businesses. They can keep much of their money in their pocket as possible. Okay, so with that being said, so I think one more thing, and And that was the time the tax rates cut. In the 1920s, tax rates were cut from 71% to 24%. Okay. And the economy grew a massive 59%. In the early 1930s, the top rates raised back to 63%, which only made the Great Depression harder to climb out of. When you take money away from, well, I don't say you take money away. I think that's a negative kind of analogy there. You cut the rates from 71% to 24. So now the government's not getting the money. The money's actually going back into the community, which allows for growth. Now, when you start taking money from, you start diverting or I'll use reallocating. We start reallocating money and redistributing money from the corporations, the big businesses, and you start putting it other places, you're not going to grow. Yeah, it's not going to happen because they need that money for research and development and to make more money, of course. Yeah, they get rich in the process, but nobody's complaining to these football owners about making billions of dollars. They're only paying these ball players. They just got a new CBA for $490,000 the first year. But these owners are making billions of dollars. So, and that's neither here nor there. But anyway, the bottom line is everyone is paying taxes. So I'm not paying as much as others, but for the most part, we are paying. But we got to make sure if we're going to pay the taxes, our tax-paying dollars being utilized properly. I prefer within the U.S., not some foreign country. All right, I'll leave it there on that note. Again, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. Thank you for your time. I really appreciate it. And again, pay your taxes. If you don't sure how to do it, get your CPA, start your business, and start investing into yourself. Hey, have a great day.